Hamakati mose muri Zimbabwe kusangana zvekare pano pachivhitivhiti paTV yenyu patinokupai malatest updates nenyaya dzinenge dzichiitika munyika yeZimbabwe. Mashoko andichataura pano haasi mashoko angu asi mashoko ari kubva kune vamwe vanhu vari kupikisana nehurumende yaEmmerson Mnangagwa varimo muhurumende imomo vasiri kufara nezviri kuitika. Right, pane vakomana vakati president and 2030 chikora zvigananda vauya vachiti alert all Zimbabwe national commanders. Tapfumaneyi is not just there to lead, he is there to divide and neutralize. Allegations are surfacing that he is directly behind the targeted killings of top generals to secure Mnangagwa's grip on power. The army is at war itself. So muri Zimbabwe ndo zviri kutaurwa. Isusu hatina mamwe mashoko atingade kuwedzera apa. Chatingatoite ndechekuti takusiya nyaya imwe yatinayo iri kubvawo kumaComrades ari diaspora ndo vachange vachipedzisawo vachitaurawo mumwe muonero wavari kuita about nyaya dzeconstitution ndizvo vachange vachitaura, but nyaya yatakuzivisai ndo iri kubuda kuti miroro timu reZANU-PF raakubvarurana rega rega, vari kungobuditsirana mainformation, zvinhu zviri kulika each and every day. Hapana chiri kuitwa chisiri kulika, chiri kungopinda mastreets esocial media. Naizvozvo muri Zimbabwe tinokutendai nekuteerera kwenyu pano pachivhitivhiti.
Time kuti we just have to be one, fight this. And ZANU-PF, I'm telling you, it's the only cancer for us. And you see, when they say people must deliberate on this bill, and they don't allow people to congregate and talk about it, and that's why they don't want to go to referendum. They know they will lose. They know. And myself, I'm hoping that people on the ground we do something. Like Manyamashra was saying, in diaspora, we need to support people who want to fight this on the ground. They will need resources. And I always say that. Resources. Let's see how we can come and be part of fighting this. Because you see, diaspora we have to be careful. Participate right now. When we are now trying to go home later on, whenever you are traveling, I'm telling you, the rules are going to change. Getting into Zimbabwe, Musafungo, it's going to be easy. It's going to be tight. And because we are allowing this ZANU-PF to do willy-nilly, and they're going to change rules. So if we don't fight this, don't ever think that it's not going to affect us. It's one diaspora. It's going to, the moment you touch down on that airport, after allowing these bills to go through, it's going to be hell for people in diaspora. Trust me, Yamashish. Unogona kusvika pepe uchinziko imba mungini chimbo chemsangano uchisvika pa-airport unoita sei, because we are not defending our space and we're gonna be tese tenge tanohutapwa tunoomeserwa zvisingaite. I think it's time to stand, all of us everywhere kwauri, let's stand and push back on this. Thank you, Yamashish.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Guys, if you're just joining me, thank you very much. We are talking about the recent events, that are happening in Zimbabwe pertaining to the opposition to the amendment bill, where we are witnessing civic space shrinking, where we are witnessing civic actors being stopped from participating in their activities. We've seen city hall style facilitation meetings being stopped in Harare, in Bulawayo. We've seen the Tendai CDF launch being stopped. We've seen the abduction, the arrest, the everything that is going on. Honorable Molokeli for merely doing what he's supposed to be doing as an MP, the constitutional, development, fund, in his constituents. He's being arrested, for being part and parcel, of that, even though he tried to explain to them that this is just, a CDF, program. It has got nothing to do with anything else, that, they are talking about or they are thinking, but the paranoia that is running through their veins is causing them to, behave, in this manner. The police are being unleashed. We've seen, the police being unleashed countless, times. We've seen opposition members being arrested countless, times for being accused of attending unsanctioned, meetings. We've seen, Timber spending, months and months, in pre-trial, detention, and we've seen arrests of, journalists, arrests of activists, and we are left now to wonder who gets to speak. Where are we going, with this? Right. So if you want to make a contribution, as I said, I'm not staying here for long, but I just thought that, we need to have, this conversation. But if you want to make a contribution, ladies and gentlemen, you can come through, just request, for the mic. I'll give you, the opportunity, to do that. Right. So just, a reminder of what, they're trying, to do, of what, this amendment, is, proposing. They want to extend the presidential and parliamentary terms from 5 to 7 years. They want to introduce a parliamentary process whereby the election of the president is going to be done, by the parliament, and that is going to be replacing the direct popular election. And ZEC is going to be, the way that, these elections are going to be run. The authority is going to be removed from ZEC, is going to be placed into the rest, general. Yes, there are other amendments or changes, that they want to make, the gender, etc. But those are just, a smoke screen. The key or the most important part of that is what I've just, spelled out. And they know that people are never going to take that, lying down. In order to prevent people from meaningfully participating in this 90-day process, they want to make sure that the space does not exist for the opposition, to do what, they're supposed to be doing. They're turning this into a political contestation. And yet it is not supposed to be like that, because it is a national project. It is a national thing. And everyone has to be involved, in this. Opposition must also come from those within ZANU-PF. That is why this thing, matters, to everyone. In ZANU-PF, there are people who are opposed, to this. So we need to stand and push back against what they are doing. We need to speak out against, these things. Whenever you see these things, happening, document them and report them. That is important for accountability. Yes, you're going to be arrested, you're going to be banned, you're going to be disrupted. But we need a documentation of these things. Because we cannot continue on this path. Every time that we try to have something that has got a national theme, to it, they always, do what, they do best. To stop the people from participating. Zimbabwe is not only for the elites. Zimbabwe is for Zimbabweans. Those who are in Umtorashanga, those who are in Bikita, those who are in Checheche, those who are in Lotito, in Mandarwen, those who are in K's, those who are in Pumalanga, Mtorashanga, wherever you are, this thing is for you. But the moment that people are stopped, the moment that they tell us that you cannot participate, the moment that they tell us that this is not sanctioned, the moment that they put a barrier, we are being controlled. And that right there is not acceptable.
Nyamashi Saka, do you know, Team Zimbabwe, we are very